Hello everyone, my name is Arya and welcome to a bit of a different video than my usual stuff, but I think it's still an important video nonetheless. Also, sorry the videos have been inconsistent over the past few weeks. I'm in the process of getting ready to move and it's been eating up a lot of my time and energy, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. But let's talk about something that I get asked about a lot, which is how do you deal with burnout, both in Hunt and just in life in general. I've been playing Hunt several times a week since the tail end of Light the Shadow, which for anyone who doesn't know was back in the summer of 2021, nearly 3 years ago. Since then, I've logged over 2,500 hours, which is nothing compared to other content creators who have something closer to triple my hours, but 2,500 is still a sizable chunk of time, so I feel my thoughts on the topic are justified. Burnout is a very real thing, and honestly, it's something that I am terrified of because it has the potential to turn something that you absolutely love and adore with all of your heart into a tedious slog that feels more like a chore than anything else. Now, I wouldn't say I'm at this point with Hunt right now, as I still do really enjoy playing the game, streaming it, and making videos on it, but the past month or two has definitely felt less enjoyable than it did previously, and I can definitely feel it in the community too that hunters are just kinda getting tired. Views on YouTube have dropped, community engagement has dropped, and at least in my Twitch chat, there have been long-time players who just aren't having as much fun with the game anymore. This is not to say that Hunt is dying or anything like that, and I think the lack of content in this event was done on purpose to give Crytek more time to push out the big things coming this year, like the engine upgrade and the new map. But that being said, we definitely are in a bit of a valley right now when it comes to content and, more importantly, balancing changes. I think part of the reason this event feels less fun for me is that frustrating elements just kind of sit in the game for months at a time until the next big content update. Things like the ratty runaway and Red Skull later behavior that Lawful Pact enables as soon as your teammates go down, or just how easy it is to insta-burn with a flare gun and fusies really needs to be addressed because I think we can all agree that they just aren't very fun mechanics to play against. Nobody wants to down 2 out of 3 people of a trio just to have the third go hide in a forest for 20 minutes while you literally can't do anything about it, and getting insta-burned every single time you go down is just straight up demoralizing. I have 2 proposals if big content updates are going to continue to be every few months like they currently are. The first option is just less drastic changes to reduce the likelihood of something becoming a major annoyance, especially when we're looking at core game mechanics such as burning. A similar example of this was back in Tide of Corruption with the Infernal Pact and Blazeborn. Not being able to burn a downed hunter was extremely frustrating and definitely became really annoying really fast, and with how burning out a hunter basically means nothing as of now, at least as long as one of their teammates is running Lawful Pact, it's very reminiscent of the Blazeborn glory days. Putting players in a position where it feels like there's absolutely nothing they can do is really demoralizing, and let's be honest, nobody wants to hunt down that final rat of a trio trying to cheese with Lawful by avoiding any and all conflict, and sometimes if they play it right and they sneak away without you seeing or hearing them, it's basically impossible to hunt them down because they could be literally anywhere on the map, especially if they have Greyhound, Determination, or a Stam Shot. So less dramatic changes, especially regarding core game mechanics, to avoid another Blazeborn or Lawful situation is my first suggestion for Crytek. The other option they have is if they want to keep doing these larger changes is just to give us more balancing patches so that if there is a problem it doesn't have to sit in the game for 2+ months. A sort of mid-season balancing patch halfway through an event would be an amazing way to get rid of that feeling of Crytek giving us an update and then just disappearing for a few months, leaving us to deal with whatever the state of the game currently is, whether that be good or bad. And this is not me calling for these updates to have new content or anything, it would purely just be little balancing changes and tweaking existing mechanics, and it would still likely do a lot for the health of the game. But unfortunately, there's only so much Crytek can do, and Burnout is still going to happen regardless of the state of the game. So what can you yourself do to help slow down or prevent Burnout? Well, if you've watched any amount of my videos on here, you'll see that I rarely play the same loadout twice, which is in my opinion the biggest contributing factor to why I've been able to play Hunt for so long and still have fun with it. Hunt has such a varied and diverse arsenal full of all sorts of interesting combinations, and building an interesting loadout for me is like half the fun of Hunt. If you only pick things that you're comfortable with or things that are considered high in the meta, you're limiting the amount of enjoyment you can get out of the game. Playing 200 matches with the same loadout is going to make you feel bored a lot quicker than if you played 200 matches with even 2 or 3 different loadouts. There's plenty of ways to draw inspiration if you need some. You can use one of the free loadout randomizers you can find online, or you can just watch other players and content creators and steal their loadouts. Like I said, I use pretty much everything and rarely run the same loadout twice, so if you want, feel free to steal anything that I've made that looks interesting. You could also try switching up your playstyle too. Getting burnt out while playing rifles, try switching to something a bit closer range like a crossbow or a shotgun for some more intense close range fights. Tired of those close range fights? Why not give a scope a try and see if you like the sniper life? This one's maybe a bit less likely to work since I know a lot of people definitely have more of a preference in their playstyle, but it's absolutely worth a try if you haven't already. And lastly, one of the best ways to avoid getting burnt out in Hunt is just to simply take a break. I know a lot of you who watch my videos, Hunt is your main game, you're ride or die, but I promise you, if you're frustrated with the game or you're just not having as much fun with it as you used to, close the game and go do something else. Personally, I know that I feel I enjoy Hunt a lot more during these rougher times if I just space out the frequency at which I play it. Integrating other games into my off-stream game rotation has also been super helpful for this. Hunt is a really high-stakes game because if you lose a hunter, you're also losing hunt dollars and gear that's directly associated with your account as a whole. Not to say that you can't earn those hunt dollars back, and not to say that high stakes in a game are a bad thing, because I think it's part of what makes Hunt feel so intense, immersive, and special, but playing some lower stakes games every now and again where you don't have to worry about the macro of your account and can instead just focus on the micro of the gameplay itself can be incredibly refreshing for your brain. Personally, I've been really enjoying playing Call of Duty lately as a low-stakes brain-off game where I can just kind of go into autopilot and listen to some music or goof off with friends in a voice call while still getting my shooter fix. I've also been playing some PvE co-op games like Helldivers 2 and Payday 3 to offer a break from dealing with enemy players. I find PvE games to be really therapeutic since other enemy players can often be what makes a game frustrating in the first place. There's something comforting about sitting down to play a game and it's just you versus the game. No try-hard players playing like there's money on the line, no meta gremlins abusing the strongest strategies currently in the game, and no people yelling obscenities at you over voice chat. It's just you, and you can play the game however you want without impacting anybody's enjoyment other than your own. Another way that I've been dealing with burnout not only in video games but just in life in general has been mixing things up and trying new things. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I've had an opportunity to move out of my current living situation and in with one of my best friends, and honestly it has me so nervous but so excited at the same time. A change in scenery and a change in roommates has done wonders for me in the past, and I have so many ideas for different videos and stream ideas that I'll be able to do once I move into my new place. This is not me saying that if you're feeling burnt out or something, you should move into a new house or a new apartment, because this is an extreme example that happens to line up well with the creation of this video, but please don't let this discount the fact that change, no matter how big or small, is the key to getting out of a rut where everything feels the same and boring. I've also been doing smaller things with my content to help out with this. If hunt lobbies are empty or just full of tryhards with Mosins and dull precisions, I'll just go stream something else that's more enjoyable. I've also been having fun exploring new content avenues as a whole. I've been making and posting a lot more silly art and drawings that I do over on my Discord and my Twitter, as well as starting my 18+ content over on OnlyFans a few months back. All of this has been just such a massive, new, and fun experience that has made content creation in general so much more bearable and less like a chore. If I don't feel like editing a video one day, I'll just go take some photos for OnlyFans or draw a silly drawing instead. That way I'm still doing something productive with my free time while allowing me to come back to that video and edit it in a better headspace. Yes, this is technically procrastination, but is it really that bad if I get everything done on time, even if it's at the last minute? I think that might actually be the most procrastinator thing I've ever said in my life, but anyways. That's pretty much all I have to say. TLDR, change whatever it is, whether it be big or small, is the best way to prevent burnout. And it's how I've been able to keep playing Hunt and keep having fun with Hunt for so long, even through the rougher patches like we have currently. If you watched the end of the video, thank you so much for listening to what I have to say, and hopefully it helped you in some way, or was at least entertaining. Burnout is something everyone feels, and calling awareness to fatigues like this is something that I believe is very important for overall mental health. It also just gives me an opportunity to be more transparent with you all about my feelings and what's going on in my life, which I feel like I get less chances to do on YouTube as opposed to Twitch or Discord. But again, thank you, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. A huge thank you to all of my supporters over on Patreon. If you want to get exclusive rewards and see your name here for as little as $2 a month, there is a link in the description below.